Gosia said, where did it come from? Who created it? Swaru said, Prime Directive was created as part of the primordial laws and rules when the Federation was created, some 850 to 900,000 years ago linear Earth time. It's a set of rules to avoid or stop a stranger race from interfering unfatherly upon another civilization in a lesser state of development, be it intentionally or by accident. Gosia said, what Federation? What is it? Swaru said, the Federation is a group, or a cooperative organization of now close to 500,000 races and civilizations. It was created as the result of the need to cooperate and form an alliance during the time of the Great Expansion, when countless races, including ours, were being exterminated by the Orion Council and its members, mostly reptilian in nature. Gosia said, Orion Council are the reptilians. Swaru said, yes, back then Orion Council was completely negative, but now almost 2 million years after it was created, the original leaders of the Orion Council have evolved into kind and positive beings that are our friends and aiding Earth's ascension and liberation. I'm talking about the Supreme Reptilians, the Alpha Draconians. Gosia said, so Alpha Draconians are now positive, yes? Swaru said, not all, but most, at least in this quadrant of the Milky Way. Note that Draconians are one species and Alpha Draconians are a different one. Gosia said, okay. Let us put that aside for now. Going back to Prime Directive, what set of rules have there been established? The law of non-interference is one, what are others? Swaru said, there are others, but they are less important now, like trading rules, migration and starship travel corridors. Now, it must be mentioned that the Prime Directive is already known on Earth, but the Cabal has hidden it under the saga on Star Trek. Many very versed researchers on Earth already know it, and that the Prime Directive is very real. Dolores Cannon, for example. We, from here, know that the existence of a Prime Directive in Hollywood is meant to derail the disclosure of a real Prime Directive. It is important to stress that the concept presented by Hollywood comes from the reality, and not the other way around. Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, was in a retreat at the end of the 50s, where he spoke with a Pleiadian woman, who gave him the base concepts for Star Trek. Later the same Leonard Nimoy, who is the actor in the series with the role of Spock, admitted that some very strange people explained all this to him, and told him that the series/films were implemented to train and control the image of the Federation, and of the ETS in the eyes of the public. The elite promoted it because it gives the public a fantasy, but similar to the real Federation. This under the premise that they hide everything in full view for esoteric, metaphysical and karmic reasons. It's just how the Cabal works. They must say everything to people, and they do, but they do it with mind control so that people interpret everything differently. This is not only about Star Trek, but at all levels of society. The Cabal must tell the people all their plans, because that way the karma, negative karma, is on the people and not on them. Gosia said, okay, you said they must tell everything to people. Why do they have to do it? Who obligates them? Swaru said, the metaphysical laws that they observe, which are also related to the laws that other races observe and that are directly related to the Prime Directive, but the elites modify them and twist them for their own purposes. Gosia said, who sets all this in motion? Metaphysical laws, karmic laws, etc. Swaru said, it's very old and it's coming from the other side, the spirit world, and it applies to both the real 5D matrix and the 3D matrix incarnation games. They are both tied to one another, the physical laws like the Prime Directive and the metaphysical laws. The Prime Directive is based on metaphysical laws. The agreements we all made from the other side. agreements about how things should be on this side. Gosia said, I have a big problem understanding the point in the directive about non-interfering in our matters when it is clear that the ET races have been here before, teaching, sharing, giving technology, inspiring, and some even manipulating our genetics, so how does it fit with the law? Swaru said, manipulating genetics happens all the time, so set that part apart for now. Sharing technology and teaching is done with tricks to get around that directive. One of those tricks is this one as right now with you, as I'm giving this information to someone that is not really of human origin, and I'm using technology that is native to the planet. We must also admit that the Prime Directive has not always is observed. So, influence and direct contact has taken place. Example of this is Rachel of Tema face-to-face trying to talk sense into President Eisenhower. Gosia said, okay, now I have a question about another part of the document please. It mentions, no interference as the right of each sentient species to live in accordance with its normal cultural evolution. However, from my understanding, and from what you told me, our evolution here is not our normal cultural evolution, we have been imposed this particular rhythms of events so to speak, we have been trapped against our will and natural evolution. Is that why also some of you feel it is okay for you, for example to talk to us, directly, like we are doing now? Because it could be viewed as a kind of interference otherwise, no. Swaru said, you are correct. And that's also one of the most important legal justifications for our forces to be here too, helping to correct the problem. The problem is that things are not as simple as they may seem, or look. Because at one level people are being manipulated by an intellectually superior race that is toying with Earth people, but at another deeper level, souls are incarnating there precisely to have that experience as a test to find their way home despite the manipulation, to remember who they are, to beat the manipulators at their own game, etc. Gosia said, yes. I understand, there are a number of souls here coming for so many different reasons, and in some cases, they want to experience the squeezed experience. Also it ties in with what we were talking about earlier, on a deep metaphysical level, it's the consciousness' own creation. To what degree are things in life, including matrix, imposed and to what degree are they self-imposed, and even the experience of being imposed could be self-imposed. It's very complex. Swaru said, yes, very complex. I believe that it was imposed at first, but then the star seeds came in and are now altering the matrix from the inside. So, that part is self-imposed. Especially because some star seeds go in there to undermine and change the system from the inside, but others only go in for the personal experience. So, don't expect those to wake up anytime soon, by the way, as they love the experience. Gosia said, okay, so how come sometimes these rules of non-interference have been broken? Swaru said, the Prime Directive for us, and the other races is a set of rules that guides us, is a philosophy and not an unbreakable law. It is flexible and you can skip the given law under full responsibility of those who make the contact. We see the Prime Directive only as a guideline, a philosophy, not a dogma. It can be broken. Gosia said, under what circumstances can it be broken? Swaru said, when the result will bring a greater good for all. But the assessing if it should be broken or not is a very delicate subject. Remember that at one level on Earth, it's justified to intervene in favor of the people who are suffering clearly, but at a deeper metaphysical level if we intervene we will be going against the more expanded desires of the same people. Gosia said, I see. Have you broken it before with regards to our race, you as Utajitan Pleiadians? Swaru said, we've broken it too many times to even count. Gosia said, and have you been judged for that by whoever is in charge of the law? Swaros said, the organism in charge of overseeing this law is the Federation at its headquarters. Same way the Orion Council is also doing the same at their level form their headquarters. Gosia said, they abide by the same law. Or their own. Swaros said, that's right, it's observed by both sides. Gosia said, okay, the document also states, it is not permitted to make contact with or interfere with lesser races, unless they are threatened by an outside source. We have the outside threat. The reptiles. Right. Swaros said, that's correct. Gosia said, so why can't we be interfered with then even more? I mean, in a more direct way. Helping to erase the matrix more directly down here. Just asking. Swaros said, we do interfere, and a lot. And every day. Even now here with you, this is some sort of interference. Also, there are ships out there actively patrolling your skies. The problem here is that the people don't see them, and even while in strength here, we cannot solve it all. However, the matrix is coming down very fast. Things must be done step by step for a reason. Cosmologically speaking, it's crashing down at an outrageous speed, but I understand that from below things may look different and slow. Things must come to pass, first. You may be ready for an ascension, even overdue, but others aren't. Gosia said, yes, I do feel that a lot of events happen behind our back, like prohibiting the mass murders in 2012 from taking place. Swaros said, and WW3 like half a dozen times since then. We do interfere with the massacres too, as much as we can and all over the place. Many events almost took place. And others their degree was mitigated. We've shot missiles down from the sky countless times. They never reached their targets. Gosia said, what were the missiles targeting? Swaros said, different targets, populated areas. To start wars, the most recent one was stopping a missile in flight heading towards Hawaii, just last month. It was supposed to start a war with North Korea. Gosia said, who was it sent by? Swaros said, by a US submarine under the reptilian cabal control. But the fact is that we cannot make the bulk of the humans on Earth think we did it all, or we will be seen as saviors again. This fight must be won by the people of the Earth. And there are esoteric problems here at play as well, because there are collectives or groups of people who incarnate together and exit together, and it's their game to experience something seen as negative. So, we cannot interfere many times. The problem is understanding and assessing when we can and when we must not interfere. It is never an easy task. Sometimes yes, it's quite clear, but others, it's a big debate. And many times we do have a timing pressure against us, so we do have to take split-second decisions. Mainly the fighter crews have to, like to decide to destroy the missile or not. Gosia said, okay, and thank you then for all you do. I guess it's just that most people here are not aware of it all, and they go through a lot of suffering on different levels, and they would like to see your more open involvement. There is a lot of cruelty here and pain. Swaros said, most of the people suffering there are not real, they are a program to instigate an emotional response upon the real people. Gosia said, wow, that's a strong statement. I so want to go into the subject of non-real people sometime soon. Swaros said, real people do suffer, but they go in there with a script and that is controlled by them, before going in there, and it states clear limits to suffering. Each one designed their script carefully and for personal reasons. And it's fixed unless you decide to go out of automatic life mode, as most are in, and take control over everything you want to experience there. Jumping script to manual mode. Gosia said, Why would they want to experience something cruel and horrific? Why would any soul want to experience that? Swaru said, because from the other side you do see things differently, and it also depends on the point of view of the races incarnating. It may be a horrible experience for you or for us, from our point of view, but just a wanted experience from the point of view of others. It's hard to accept, but it's the truth. Some souls do come in with a plan of this sort, and actually, we are against these plans because it helps to perpetuate the problem, and a lot, they also damage others in the way. But this is above us and our jurisdiction. Gosia said, but pain is pain though, no matter what perspective you are looking from. I senti it. Swaru said, I'm afraid not. It's pain while in 3D, it's an experience from another side, a wanted experience. Pain and horrible experience is only a subjective point of view we agree on. Gosia said, yes, but you do feel it. The experience is real. Swaru said, yes, the experience is real, because you are real. Gosia said, Okay. And the last question, or comment regarding the Prime Directive. It also mentions non-interfering with the lesser evolving race. But when the 3D was placed, and we will explain that in next chapters, we were not a lesser race. We were you and Lians. So, we are not the lesser race. The 3D was placed artificially, so we are not in the natural evolving society. Therefore your so-called interference is justified. Swaru said, right, and that's also why we do interfere. Because you are an artificially lesser race, placed there by others. Yet from a higher point of view it is also by choice, because from the higher realms everyone agreed on experiencing what they go through now. There are ultimately no victims here, it is a mind bender.